Hi, I'm Brian Apavu. I am a neurologist with an interest in philosophy, the mind, and living the examined life. A few days ago, my wife and I welcomed our fourth child into this world. She's beautiful, healthy, and we feel incredibly blessed to have her. But her delivery reminded me of something more profound, something about medicine, the profession that I'm involved with, and about desire and what it means to practice the art of medicine with authenticity. So I want to share something personal. This was my wife's fifth pregnancy. Our first ended in miscarriage. And with each of the next three children that we had, her risk of postpartum bleeding had been getting worse. By the time our third child arrived, she needed a device after birth, in the immediate time after birth, implanted a Jada device just to stop hemorrhaging. It was traumatic for all of us. And we questioned at that time whether it was even safe to try again. We wanted four children, and so we wanted to try again, but we didn't know if it was really safe. In each of those deliveries, different obstetricians were on call. Very competent doctors, certainly. The teams reacted when things went wrong. They were reactive to the situation when bleeding occurred. But with each of the pregnancies, we always felt uneasy. Would they know her history? Would the right people be there at the right time with the right equipment and be ready? As a physician, I've been on the other side of teams, multidisciplinary teams that take care of very complex patients, and I know how easily important details can slip through the cracks, even if you have a great team and have great resources around you. This time, though, we had a very different experience from our other pregnancies. I wanted to describe the contrast. This time, we found a private practice obstetrician. No group, no rotating call schedule. He takes care of patients himself, and that means when you're in labor, he's there. The night my wife went into labor, he showed up at 11 p.m., just 2 hours after admission, and he stayed for the entire 9 hours of her active labor. He knew her history, he anticipated her risks, and when she did lose 2 liters of blood from a placenta that wouldn't fully detach, he was calm, prepared, and unshakable. He spent 90 minutes after delivery carefully removing the placenta and repairing a cervical tear. He had medications ready. He knew the playbook. And because of that, my wife didn't need a device and she didn't need a blood transfusion during this pregnancy, unlike her other ones. The care that he provided was personalized, attentive, and just excellent care, and it inspired me. There's a larger point I want to drive with this discussion. Here's why. Modern medicine is becoming increasingly organized into larger systems. Physicians like myself become of small parts of massive machines. We track key performance indicators, not necessarily because they reflect the soul of good medicine, but because they satisfy primarily the large organization that we become a part of. In theory, patients are customers in the business of healthcare. In reality, however, insurance companies are the ones who are providing the majority of the reimbursements that healthcare organizations receive. And so ultimately, it's natural that incentives drift. Physicians start unconsciously aligning with organizational goals instead of the deeper, older goals that they had originally brought them to the art of medicine, which is caring for the patients in front of them. I'm created another video series on mimetic desires, and I'll put those in the show notes below. And so I bring that up because this is where Rene Girard's idea of mimetic desires come from. Girard argued that we humans don't invent our desires from scratch. Rather, we absorb them from models around us, often not without realizing it. A doctor might enter medicine inspired to serve the patients that come in front of him or her. But once that physician becomes part of a larger system, once they're inside of a larger organization, the models of success shift: promotions, metrics, reputation. Without noticing, the desire to be an excellent physician can morph into the desire to satisfy an organization or its affiliates. The experience that I had recently was a reminder. Watching this obstetrician alone at 3 a.m., calmly devoting all his time and attention to my wife's care, reminded me of what authentic medicine looks like. His model is different. He isn't performing for an organization, he's present for a person. And that stirred something inside of me. At 41 years old, I am still evolving as a physician myself. And I want to realign my own desires with that model, not necessarily organizational benchmarks, but with that deeper calling to serve the patient. Even if you're not in medicine, I think there's something here for all of us with this story, wherever you are: business, teaching, art, parenting. It's easy to absorb the desires that truly aren't your own, to serve systems instead of people, especially when you become part of larger organizations, to chase metrics instead of true and authentic meaning, to lose sight of what truly is inspiring and meaningful to us deep down inside. But then, if you're lucky, such as myself, you occasionally will encounter individuals who live differently, individuals who stay true to the deeper purpose of the people that they serve. And there becomes an example, and their example becomes a model that calls you back. That's what I witnessed this past weekend: a physician practicing the art of medicine with presence, humility, skill, and authenticity and care. And I'm grateful not only for the care that my wife received, but for the reminder of who I want to be. If you found value in this reflection, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and check the show notes for my series on mimetic desire. It might help you see your own models more clearly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.